Well, I figure I'd go out with a bang. So I wanted to make one last training video about just cleaning in general. And I'm not suggesting that no one knows how to clean, right? Everyone has their different specifics on how to clean, different processes, different routes to take around the office. But I just wanted to go over what I've learned over the past 11 years in the industry. I started out the first 4 residential and then built it up into what was the former name, Clean Freaks, and then Simple Clean. We switched over to commercial. So let me start off with bathrooms. I'll try to keep this quick. Bathrooms are one, if not the most important part of an office space. I'm going to actually go out on a limb and say bathrooms are the most important part. So when cleaning bathrooms, you need to pay specific attention to the toilets and to the mirrors and the sinks. The walls can be done. If someone's picky, they're really not even going to pay attention to the walls, especially if they're tile. But that should be done. But anyway, the mirrors should be wiped down and not left with streaks. That's one of the biggest things. Looking at a streaky mirror gives me fucking anxiety. It's ridiculous. So there shouldn't be any streaks on the mirror. So when you go to clean a mirror, I'm going to go back and forth. You don't ever spray anything directly on a surface. Don't spray anything directly on a desk. Don't spray anything directly on a sink. Don't spray it directly. Spray your solution on a rag, because the more you soak something, the more that you're apt to leave a streak on a desk, on a stainless steel surface, on a sink, on a mirror. So spray it directly onto the rag. You don't have to soak it. You should not be cleaning anything with a soaked rag, unless you're really trying to get something off of a baseboard, something caked on. But for mirrors, it's a couple sprays on a rag, wipe down the mirror, and then you have to look. You have to look at different levels. Look at eye level, look above, get down, and look at the mirror down at the bottom, and get any excess water residue, soap, whatever. Once you're done wiping down the mirror, you have to look at things at different angles. You have to be able to look at a surface from that eye level to see if you left any crumbs, to see if you left any streaks. So look at a mirror from different angles, and then all you have to do to buff the streaks out is just take a purely dry rag and just buff out the streaks. So there shouldn't be streaks on mirrors. Any type of stainless steel or chrome should be polished, not scrubbed with a green pad. It's going to scratch the shit out of it, but it should be polished. Sink should be wiped out and dried. There shouldn't be anything left in the sink, in a bathroom or a kitchen sink. And most importantly, in a sink, there's the little the drain hole that should be wiped out, and the actual drain. There shouldn't be any gunk left in there. So when you're done with a sink, the mirror should have no streaks on it. The chrome should be polished. It should be any soap stains, no hard water stains on a sink, nothing in the sink, and it should be dried out. Make sure you get underneath the sink, dust any valves, get any excess gunk from underneath the sink out. You're not gonna have to do this every time, but that's the expectation, especially of a simple clean. Again, which sets us apart. Toilets should be wiped down using paper towels. The seats, the valves, behind the toilet, the base of the toilet, the top of the tank, if there is a tank, the inside, you should go underneath the rim with a toilet brush to make sure that you're not missing anything. If you need to use a pumice stone, by all means, go ahead and use it. If you have to use the hydrochloric acid to get a stain that's just hard to remove, use the hydrochloric acid, use the toilet brush. When someone comes into a bathroom and looks at a toilet and goes to use the bathroom, that first person in there, it should look absolutely spotless. The wall behind the toilet, the walls on both sides. If you're in a stall, the partition should be wiped down. The tops of the partition should be wiped down. Toilet papers, soap holders, soap bottles, literally everything in a bathroom should be wiped down. I'm not saying you need to do this every time, but these are things that you're going to have to check in a bathroom. You need to do the sink first, you need to do the toilet next, then you can focus on the walls, you can focus on wiping down trash cans. Trash cans shouldn't have any gunk on them, they shouldn't have hard water stains on all sides. The floors, once you're done with the wiping down everything and checking again and again and again, you can vacuum the floor and then mop it and then look at it. And then maybe you need to re-vacuum the floor. So a lot of this has to do with procedure and process, but also it has to do with detailing. That's what kind of separates us. Instead of someone going into a bathroom and just emptying the garbage, wiping down the toilet seat, lifting it up, and then just wiping down the sink, that's not what we do. That's why we are who we are, because we spend the time. We give you the time to go in there and actually spend a half an hour or 45 minutes in a bathroom. If it's a one-stall bathroom, depending on where it is, if it's in a warehouse, you might spend 25 minutes. But if it's in an office space where it's not really getting used, I mean, your max time in there should be 20 to 25 minutes, unless there's 2, 3, 4 stalls, and maybe it takes you 45 minutes. But again, bathrooms need to be detailed as much as humanly possible. Nothing left in the sink, nothing on the toilet, and when you leave the bathroom, air freshen, empty the garbage, and the toilet seat should be up. Okay, we're gonna move on to kitchens. Kitchens, basically the same as a bathroom without the toilet. Sinks, if it's stainless steel, spray the stainless steel polish in there, let it sit, wipe it down. There shouldn't be any gunk. The sink drains that pop out, there shouldn't be anything left on there. They should be scrubbed out using a green pad. It's not gonna really scratch that. And if you need to use a green pad on the sink, you'll see the way that the sink, there's grains or grooves in the sink. Never go against, always go with. So a stainless steel sink in a kitchen should look basically brand new, with the equipment that we have, with the polish that we have. The handles underneath depending on what kind of faucet they have, should be wiped down and polished. Countertops need to be wiped down, and the way that you look at a countertop is not from the top, because you're not going to see anything. You need to look, so if this is the countertop here, you need to kind of look at the eye level, and you'll be able to see crumbs. Don't just, if you see a toaster oven or a microwave, don't just wipe up to the front of the microwave or the toaster oven. You need to lift up the microwave and get any crumbs out from underneath or behind. If there's a backsplash, that needs to be wiped down. Insides of the microwave always get wiped down. Inside and outside always get wiped down. The easiest way to do that with a microwave is to spray your solution in there, turn it on for 30 seconds. If it's nasty, that'll loosen up any of the dirt, and that'll just make it easy to wipe out. Don't ever try to clean a microwave without turning it on and letting it heat up for 30 seconds. It's just going to take you extra time, and it's going to be a pain in the ass, and it just sucks. I've been there, done it, but that's the way to clean out a microwave. Refrigerator front should be wiped down. The sides, if possible, should be wiped down. The handles, for sure as shit, should be wiped down. Nobody wants to grab a refrigerator handle and feel something sticky on the back. Unacceptable. If it's stainless steel, for the love of Pete, don't use a green pad. Do not use a green pad. Don't use a green pad. I've been in situations before where some of our staff years ago have used green pads, and it's just not good. It doesn't look good. Scratch the shit out of it. People complain. Spray some stainless steel polish right on it. Okay. Let me redact. You can, as far as the stainless steel polish, spray it directly onto the surface. I would recommend that rather than spraying it onto a rag. But make sure there's no fingerprints, no streaks on any stainless steel appliances in the kitchen. Chairs need to be wiped down. If you have extra time, the base of the chairs, kitchen chairs, should be wiped down. The table needs to be wiped down and cleaned and organized. If there's condiments on there, if there's napkins, try to make the kitchen look as neat as possible. Same thing with the bathroom, right? The presentation is also key to cleaning. It's not just the cleaning, but it's also presenting in a way that looks neat, organized, and professional. Kitchen floors, Pay attention to the baseboards. Pay attention to where the garbage cans are at. All garbage cans in kitchens should be wiped down, top to bottom. Make sure you got to pull the garbage cans out from the wall. Shitty people, they miss the garbage cans. They fling food everywhere. So just pay attention to where the garbage can is or cans are in a kitchen, and just be aware that people miss the garbage cans. They're disgusting human beings, or we're a filthy species. So just pay attention to the garbage cans in the area that they're in. Vacuum, mop the floor. If you need to go back and take a look at the floor, if the mop picked up anything that the vacuum didn't, go back and just re-vacuum it. It takes 2 minutes to go back and re-vacuum it. And I guarantee you, if you're a staff member of Simple Clean watching this, I guarantee someone will say something as far as reaching out to Lorena and say, and the kitchen and bathrooms look good. It's all about the detail and presentation. And then lastly is just going back. And I can't stress this enough, but I don't know why people do it. It's going back after you think you're done with the bathroom. Just going back in and take 30 seconds to walk around the bathroom with a rag and see if you missed anything. That's all it takes. 30 seconds, or you miss something and then Lorena gets a call that says, hey, the mirror had streaks on it, or we missed the trash can, or the floor looked like shit. It's like 30 seconds or a call from your boss. I don't know, pick one. I mean, what are we doing here, right? So always constantly go back, especially with the kitchen and bathrooms. You need to spend 30 seconds. Damn phone here. Dusting. I know in the past people don't like this method of dusting, but for me, in a backpack vacuum is the dusting brush with a damp rag and kind of doing it all at once, sucking up the dust and wiping down any fingerprints. You can use the dusting brush for picture frames, blinds, desks, computer screens. They're horsehair bristles, so they won't scratch anything. So using the dusting brush along with a damp rag, I know it's cumbersome to maybe have that backpack on while you're walking around in an office area, but when you get used to it, there's not a more efficient system of dusting and a more professional way than using the backpack with a dusting brush. You could go the route of one of those shitty, weird Swiffer dusters that some of these other companies use, but all you're doing is you're maybe collecting some on it, but you're not really collecting it. You're not collecting all of the dust. At least with the backpack vacuum, you know where that dust is going. It's not getting pushed around. It's not getting pushed to a pile in the back of a desk somewhere. So that's the biggest thing when it comes to dusting. Picture frames. You're not going to move everything unless you get a specific client that says, hey, we want picture frames moved. We want our entire desk dusted, everything moved off the desk. Like, it's going to be rare. But if you have to dust desks, that's one instance where maybe organizing it's going to be kind of on a, what's the word I'm looking for? Case by case basis. If you have a lawyer's desk where there's just checks and there's like, might be money on it, like try to leave that stuff and dust around it. Make sure you get behind monitors, get as much as you can with the dusting brush. Outside of that, leave it. If you do see a desk that's fairly organized, you're going to want to know that, okay, I need to do the best job I possibly can by getting everything, because that person has that desk and their expectations, because they have an already clean desk, are already going to be high. So there's a psychological aspect to cleaning as well. Just like I mentioned with air freshening. Before you leave an office, you need to spray like 7 or 8 shots of air freshener in an office space. If you walk in there and you're the first person in, especially if you're the owner or you're a manager or a CEO, and it smells good, that's a psychological aspect that says Simple Clean was here. I don't need to look around. I just don't. Even if you miss something, that smell is gonna reduce that person from having to look around or complain or blah, 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 whatever it is. So there is a psychological aspect to it. If you see someone's desk that's already cleaned, you know you're going to want to have to do a better job. If you see someone that has a jacked up desk, do as best you can, but you're not going to move paperwork and pick up piles of paper. So dusting 101, really, damp rag, you don't need to soak it. Make sure you get fingerprints off and use the dusting brush to your advantage. Use the extensions to your advantage. If you don't have to get up on a ladder or a step stool, don't do it. Use 2 or 3 extensions to get to the blinds, to lift up the blinds and get to window shelves and things like that. Also, pay attention. You're not going to have to do this every time. If you're consistent with your dusting once every even couple of weeks, depending on the capacity of the people that are in there, you can then move to focus on different things, or you can not spend as much time and still get paid for the allotted amount of hours. So it's beneficial to you as a cleaning agent to not slack off, because that just gives you an easier job. If you're not keeping up with it, there's going to be complaints. There's going to be discussions with Lorena. There's going to be a stigma attached now to you going in that office specifically to say, like, and here comes Craig again. Ugh, this guy's terrible. Like, you don't want that. So it's beneficial for you to keep up with your specific office space. It doesn't make sense to not do the best job you can. I mean, it's with anything in life, right? If you're going to do something, just fucking do the best job you can. Don't half-ass it, or just don't do it. Like, either don't do it or take it 100%. There's no in the middle. I don't know. I don't, that's weird to me. Another important aspect of the office is our lobbies. Like that, outside of the bathroom, the lobby is the first thing that someone sees. In the wintertime, anyway, wintertime it's salt. In the summertime, it's bugs and cobwebs. So in the lobby, make sure that outside and inside door, if there's 2 doors, make sure that's wiped down. There's no fingerprints. Again, you're going to look at different angles to make sure you didn't see any fingerprints. Cobwebs in the corners of any lobbies. Make sure if there's hardwood floor or tile, you're mopping it, you're vacuuming it, you're getting all the salt up off the floor. If there's carpet or a mat, make sure that's getting vacuumed. Make sure you're vacuuming it underneath. I've seen customers pick up the mat and look under it. When I was first starting, it's like, hey, Craig, this wasn't done. And they picked up the mat. Like, look underneath the mats. Dust any type of ledges in the lobby. Dust fire extinguishers off. Dust alarms off. Dust anything you can get your grimy hands on, really is what it comes down to. Unless there's not an allotted time for this. What else? Pay attention to your equipment, right? Don't drop your equipment off with hair sticking off the vacuum, with gunks of it built up in the tubes. Like, be respectful to the equipment, be respectful to the people that are cleaning the equipment out. That was one of my biggest concerns when cleaning out the equipment, was like gunks of hair and paper filled. Just clean it out. Make sure that when you're done for that day, or you're dropping your equipment off at the office for it to be emptied and cleaned, make sure it looks good. Don't leave fucking half-eaten wrappers in your bag. Don't leave Kit Kats out of the bag, lollipop sticks. Just be respectful to the equipment, because it just saves the company money. It looks good on you. It looks good for the rest of the team. Take care of your equipment the same way you take care of your car or something that you're passionate about. It is important. It honestly is. Finding food in a bag is just stop. Eat it or just throw it away. Don't stuff it in the bag. The other thing too is when you're walking around an office and you see something that is wrong, if you see an outlet that doesn't work, or if you see a light out, if you see, you're cleaning agents, right? You're not just there to clean. You're there to also look around and inspect things. That only bodes well for you, right? From an owner standpoint, from a client standpoint, the more you point out and the more you can fix outside of cleaning, the better it looks for the company, the better it looks for you, and the better the client feels. So the client, again, a psychological aspect is the client thinks, because there's such a shitty stigma to the cleaning industry, that, well, they're just coming in to clean, right? If they didn't know us. But now you send in Simple Clean and we say, hey, we saw that one of these outlets isn't working. You're out of paper towels. You're out of hand soap. there's a leak in in one of your bathroom ceiling tiles, your water pressure, whatever it is. Now that you have the janitorial app, you can put that in there. And again, it just looks good for all parties involved. So that's another aspect. See, it's not just you going into an office space cleaning. There is a whole complex system in an office space when you go in by yourself and there's nobody in there and it's quiet and you put your headphones on and you go, but you need to pay attention. There's so much detail involved in the cleaning industry that the stigma, it gets lost. It gets lost on how difficult a job it is, not just from a labor standpoint, but from a complex standpoint. I mean, you could learn a lot from the cleaning industry. You can learn a lot by simply cleaning an office space and leaving that office space and saying, holy shit, I did everything I possibly could. It looks good, and I can't wait to hear what someone says after. Like, that gives me goosebumps, because when you go, so when I first started this business, when I first started cleaning a residential house, I would wait like eagerly that morning after doing an initial cleaning on a residential house by myself, where I've spent 9 hours in, sweating, dirty, disgusting. Nothing better than getting an email from the owner of the house saying, I can't believe how ridiculous this house looks. Like, amazing, right? And you're going to get that from office spaces too. We've seen it. I've texted it in the group chat. You're going to get that. So don't only do it just because it's your job, but do it for also the praise. Like, there's nothing wrong with being praised and wanting praise. There's nothing wrong with that. So again, use this job to learn the detail. Use it to learn accountability, and use it to maybe get a little pat on the back from a Lorena or from a client. You never know where these things can take you. Let me go back to cleaning. Use the equipment to your advantage. Like, you shouldn't have to get down on your hands and knees and scrub things, depending on clients. 90% of the clients get clean weekly, and they're clean. So use the equipment. Use the swivel end of the vacuum so you don't have to get down on your hands and knees and scrub a baseboard or to dust a baseboard, you know? Use the extensions to get cobwebs. Oh, while I'm at it, talking about the extensions, there are vents in bathrooms. We know this. I know this because I've seen them, and I've seen them just gunked with dust. Don't forget to look up once in a while, look at the vents in a bathroom, right? Especially if it's an initial cleaning or you're taking over a cleaning. Those vents get caked with dust. And if someone happens to look up that works in that office, they're going to look up and be like, oh, what the fuck? Well, what else did they miss, right? They're not getting the vents. Now I got to check. So it's like, the more we miss, the more likely it is that some, I don't want to curse, but some moron in that office is just having a bad day and going to fucking complain. I cursed. I knew it. Sorry. Is going to complain because they're having a shitty day. And you know who they're going to take it out on? The fucking cleaning service. That's who they're going to take it out on. So don't give them any extra ammunition to take out on you, to take out on Simple Clean. It's just unnecessary. And you know the first people they're going to go after until we continue to revolutionize the industry. There's still going to be that stereotype and stigma that it's the cleaning people, right? It's not even, it's almost like we don't even have names. We're just the cleaning guy. Until I had to set that precedent to some clients. I'm like, my name's Craig. I own the company. I'm here to clean. My name's Craig. I'm not the cleaning person. I don't call you the shitty accountant. You know, I don't call you the warehouse guy. So anyway, but don't talk to clients like that. Leave that to Lorena. I don't know. I think that's it, really. Make sure you pay attention to alarms. Make sure that you have everything you need when you're going into an office space. Don't forget rags. Don't forget mop heads. Don't forget anything else that specifically you need for that account. Just make sure that you have it. So then you have to go back and then waste time. Don't forget the keys. Another big thing too is if a client asks you to do something out of the normal scope of work, this is what you say. I need to talk to Lorena. I will get back to you on that. Someone will get back to you on that. I just need to make a phone call. If someone's like, hey, can you clean out my mini fridge in my office? Like, fuck no. Don't say that. But let me talk to my boss, Lorena. I'll get back to you on that, all right? Because they will do that. They will take advantage of someone in there, knowing full well that most likely you're going to be intimidated and you're going to do it, and then they're not going to get charged for it, right? So pay attention to those type of things. The winter and summer months are a little more difficult because in the summer, like I said, you've got cobwebs and bugs. Please pay attention to cobwebs and bugs. Nothing worse than seeing bugs on a windowsill or cobwebs all over the place. It's disgusting. Nobody wants to see it, and that's why they have a cleaning service. So summertime, for sure, pay attention. In the wintertime, I know it sucks, but there's salt. There's salt everywhere. So do the best you can. No one's expecting you to get every grain of salt, but it's important from a higher end cleaning service that we are to try to get as much as humanly possible. What else? I know I'm going through this fast, but I wanted to try to keep it under 30 minutes. But we don't skimp on equipment. I know she's not going to skimp on equipment. So if you need something, just ask. And if she'll make that decision on whether or not it's worth it to buy, or if there's something better that we can buy. But continue to give recommendations. And so as far as a process, the way that I used to do it, I knocked out the bathrooms first, right? Because anything with a closed door just makes sense. You know that you were in there. You can shut that area off and say, I'm done. I'm finished with the bathrooms, and you can move on to the next. So I usually knocked out the bathrooms and kitchens first, and then went to the office area. And then last thing I would do would be the lobby. And that would be it. So knock out your bathrooms first, knock out your kitchen or kitchens if there's multiple, and then you can work on sort of that bigger space. But normally that's how I like to work, from the inside out. Inside meaning the bathrooms and kitchens, and then work your way out to that kind of generic office space, cubicles, things like that. Cubicles. Make sure you're dusting the tops of the cubicles. That's such it's a point of contention, a bone of contention for everybody, including myself. Because it's so easy for customers to go, whoop, oh my God, that's it. And then a complaint's coming, immediate complaint. So make sure you're dusting the tops of cubicles. Again, if warranted. I would even say if not, just run your rag over it. It takes 2 seconds. Garbages. Don't miss garbages. If you're doing garbages, make sure that the garbage cans are placed right back where they were. There's nothing worse. When I was working in the Coast Guard in an office setting, I would come in and my garbage can would constantly fucking be moved. It would be like a game of hide and seek. Like, how difficult is it to put a garbage can back to where it was? So yeah, if you're doing garbages, put them back where they were. What else? Don't use your own equipment. Don't use your own spray or your own vacuums. More likely than not, your equipment sucks. I'm being honest here. Your equipment sucks. We're a professional cleaning service, a high-end cleaning service. We have the right equipment for the job. Don't use Swiffers. Don't use Swiffer dusters. Don't use that shit that you spray on hardwood floors that gives it a shine. Had to fire someone the first week they were here. I'm like, what are you doing? That shit is disgusting. It's sticky, and it's just awful. It's awful. So don't use your own equipment. Don't, please. Cleaning can be rewarding. I find it to be threefold. It's extremely rewarding because once you are finished and you look at everything that you did, you're like, damn, this place is mint. Let's go, baby. Let's go. 2, it is mindful because you're not paying attention to anything other than cleaning. Think about getting paid to practice meditation while getting something done. And 3, well, all right, there's 4. 3, You can listen if you go into school, you can listen to a class, you can listen to a podcast, you can listen to a book on whatever it is. If you have a 4-hour cleaning, you can knock out a book in 4 hours. It's ridiculous. So use your time wisely in an office space. And number 4, you're getting a workout in. Not only are you meditating, not only can you listen to a book, not only are you accomplishing something, not only are you getting paid, but you're also burning calories. So there's a lot that goes into cleaning. There is a shit ton that goes into it. And a lot of it is beneficial to you. So outside of that, that's 30 minutes. I'm hoping that this at least provides some sort of benefit to the next generation of Simple Clean employees. And if you need to or feel the need to give Lorena some feedback on different equipment or how are better ways to clean, if you have recommendations, by all means, don't hold it in, or don't just do it to yourself. Like, if you have a genius way of cleaning, fucking tell everybody, So that's it. I'm cutting it off here. I wish everybody luck, and I hope this video is beneficial. Cheers, you mucks.